following England's somewhat underwhelming campaign so far, attention's turned to Saturday's quarter-final with Switzerland.
And we can head to Germany now and speak to our senior reporter, Rob Dorsett, who's in Erfurt for us. Rob, morning, good to see you. So UEFA will investigate a gesture made by Jude Bellingham during his celebrations against Slovakia. What kind of punishment should we expect?
Well, Alex, I think a lot of people noticed it on the TV, and it certainly did a lot of traffic on social media, didn't it? That gesture from Jude Bellingham. It appeared to be a lewd gesture that he made after scoring that wonder goal. The accusation from some is that he directed it at the Slovakia bench. He went on social media afterwards and said, no, it's a bit of an in-joke I've got with my mates. And so UEFA are investigating that. Their disciplinary committee are looking at it. But look, I think you have to be realistic about this. From what we've understood, incidents like this in the past have been dealt with by UEFA with a fine. And so I don't think there's any danger that Jude Bellingham's going to be suspended or anything for England's quarter-final with Switzerland on Saturday. Much more that he gets some sort of personal rap on the knuckles almost for what he did. But for me, a much more significant gesture that Jude Bellingham made after scoring was kind of this chatter signal that he made towards the crowd. As I understand it, a number of the England players are using the criticism that they've had from members of the media like myself, from some supporters, from quite a lot of supporters as well, about their performances so far in the tournament. They're using that as motivation for them in camp. And look, there's a lot of players who turn off social media and don't listen entirely. Harry Kane and some of the senior players certainly do that. But even Harry Kane has said to us at various stages over the tournament so far when we've spoken to him that you can't help but some of the criticism, some of the comments dribble through, and he had to respond, remember, to specific criticism from Gary Lineker and Alan Shearer, two former illustrious England strikers. So I think that chatter is getting through, that criticism is getting through to some of the England players, but rather than damaging them, they're using it as motivation. It's helping galvanise the squad, it's helping them build almost a siege mentality as they go into the latter stages of the knockout tournament.
Gareth Southgate, Rob, has suggested that England, they haven't always played well in past tournaments before then suddenly finding their spark. Can this team change the narrative?
Well, that's what they're trying to do, Hayley, isn't it? And look, Southgate's right. We do look back with rose-tinted spectacles at a lot of tournaments. Italia 90, Euro 96, where England went quite deep into the tournament, and they're very, very specially remembered because, let's be honest, we haven't had an awful lot to shout about as England supporters over the years. So we do get nostalgic about those tournaments, but maybe we do look back and forget the bad times. Let's show you what Gareth Southgate has said to the newspapers, which they're running in quotes overnight. He said, everybody now, 30 years on, looks back at Euro 96 that I played in a different way to how it was at the time. We were bang average against Switzerland, he said. Interesting that England play those next. We were the same against Scotland. Scotland missed a penalty at 1-0. Spain should have beaten us in a 0-0 draw. In 1990, it was similar. So you do go through these moments in tournaments. And then he said, this win will give the whole group belief. And I think that's the hope that I have, and the hope that Southgate has as well, is that the backs to the wall, incredible emotional situation that they had with that wonder goal from Jude Bellingham right deep into injury time that got them to extra time, and then they overcame that and much adversity against Slovakia in the last 16. He's hoping that can spark England and be a turning point, something they look back on and go, well, that's where it changed. This was afterwards. Can it improve England's performances? Look, my concerns are that there are some more deep-rooted problems with England's personnel who aren't fully fit, and with some of the tactics that Gareth Southgate has deployed. I've done a bit of an analysis of that on the Sky Sports app that you might want to have a look at. But in terms of team news, well, Kieran Trippier came off with a bit of a knee problem. He had a horrible tackle from one of the Slovakia players. He's still nursing a calf injury, so concerns over him. Early signs are he will be okay. John Stones left the stadium with some strapping on his right thigh. Again, I'd expect him to be okay. He's got time to recover. And Mark Gay's suspended for this game. So all of the problems seem to be at the back. Let's see how they develop over the next few days, because Southgate will be desperate to patch those players up and get them ready to go again.
Yeah, he will be indeed, because just 4 days to go now until they face Switzerland. Rob, what's on the agenda today?
they've got a day off. No access to England today. For the first day in the entire tournament, we won't see them train because they're not training, and we won't get any media access either. None of them will be doing any interviews, and that's because the players are spending some time with their families. Gareth Southgate, I think, is very grateful there's a 6-day gap between that last 16 game against Slovakia and Saturday's game in Dusseldorf. So he's trying to focus the players on rest and recovery. Yesterday was all about recovery. They were in the gym, they had some massages, they saw the physios, they did whatever individual players need to recover from a pretty draining experience in that last game. Because I think it was emotionally and physically draining for a lot of the players, especially those who played the full 120 minutes. So yesterday was all about physical and practical logistical recovery. Today's about complete relaxation. The families and friends are going to be let into England's training camp. Harry Kane told us about when that happened in the group stages. He said it was 5 hours and it was probably a little bit long. He said there were kids running all over the place, bouncy castles, kids having horse riding. He said maybe, with a smile on his face, maybe we need to shorten that time. But look, I think it'd be a nice time for the England players to relax and completely forget about football. Tomorrow is when we will see them train again. Wednesday, building forward to Saturday. That's when we'll see them train. That's when they'll begin their specific tactical preparation for a Switzerland side who are ranked 19th in the world and who have looked better than anybody England have played so far in this tournament. That's for tomorrow. Let them enjoy today. Rest and recover, lads.